Okay, so let me share the screen.
Okay.
Bring it up. Okay. So we'll start with you'll split it into two halves. So we'll start off with the GLTC re-rate data tool comparison first, and then we'll move on to the it's more of an automated testing. We'll cover it for how we utilize automated testing in dividend tools and other projects. So those are the two topics we'll cover today under our team's time slot. Okay, we'll start off with the GLTC re-rate tool compare. So what our needs and what we kind of need was pretty simple. We had two data sets. One is baseline and the test data, and that's the thing because we have part of the GLTC re-rate project. What we are trying to do is recreate what is done in older applications for 2015 and try to match the data where, after all the processing, the final outputs we produce. This matches what business had already created for 2015. So we have one data set that's 2014 baseline and another data set that's from our test. So we need to compare both and then kind of identify what is matching, what is not matching. If it is both record level matches and a field level, how much is the mismatch? So we kind of looked at some of the tools that has been used by either the development team had developed or QA team had developed, and we had some kind of concerns with them. So that's our why. So when we looked at the tools that are currently available or currently the teams have developed, what we found is it takes a lot of time to set every time when we do a run, it takes some time to set that up and run it. So there is it's laborious process, and it had everyone is a development team is using one approach and coming with one way of displaying the data, and QA comes up with another way of doing the data, and we were not really able to produce any metrics out of it. We know we can go across, and particularly our data is around 6 million records and more than 100 fields. So when we look at it, even trying to take samples and look at it, we need to go across around 300 columns back and forth. If you want to look at a field, we probably some ways need to go across 100 columns or 50 columns to go and get to the field. So it's all becoming, and we were not able to drive a lot of metrics out of it. And we don't have really a way to, when we do execute runs, we don't have a really quick way to say the run had worked. Where the overall just glance at it and then say, okay, the run intended to do what we fixed. And navigation, I kind of touched on it. And the data load is manual. So teams have to spend a lot of time to bring in all the data from database into the spreadsheets or their tools. So these are some of the main reasons why we kind of looked at it. Some are alternative to improve the way we are doing compares and listing it out. Here, I kind of, in the side, I listed down what a sample set of data. So if we had data like this, what we really wanted to have is our test data. If we had like this, what we really wanted is, so if you look at our first record, so there is a mismatch 450. We wanted to know when we produce output, it should just only show, okay, there is a premium field mismatch and what is the value mismatch. And the second record, it has 3 fields, and we wanted to kind of get an idea about only those. We don't care about if there is a match. That's not important because we all know it's matching. We don't have to investigate or look into it. Then we wanted to know what is added or what is removed. Those are the things we wanted to know. So that's where we, doing some research, we kind of come across a tool that's available that's we able to find that's free to use tool that somebody had tried it out in Power Query. So then we kind of pulled that Power Query Excel tool and customized for our needs. So what in the tool, what features we had is we were able to connect to the databases directly and pull the data from database in a click of a button. And then customize to do data selection. We can filter it off. We can select only set of data. We don't have to start off with the 6 million records. We can just focus on small samples at 20,000 or 30,000. We can split it by block and select a group of data and compare. And then we can also customize what fields we wanted to compare. So there are key fields. If we are matching on that, we don't have to compare. So we can filter out what fields we compare. Some fields we know that's going to mismatch, then we can filter it out. We don't have to bring into our investigation. And then in the results-wise, we can then focus on displaying the key fields or any fields we wanted to see. Like if you wanted to always see the date, we can filter it. Customize what actually displayed along with the results. Like except these fields, we can kind of control what goes in the left side of the display. And also we then added to the tool is some type of masking. Sometimes we know, okay, the premium is going to mismatch, like $50 is okay. Up to $50, we are, sometimes the decimal is what we focus on. If it is less than, if the mismatch is in decimal, we wanted to mask that because it could be calculation variance. So we had that ability to mask certain level of variances, as well as we had the ability to say, okay, we know this particular record is going to match on premium. We had already researched part of the previous one. We wanted to mask the premium mismatch for this particular policy. We had right now we built the ability to do that as well. So, and the best thing of all of these other things beyond driving matrix is we now able to quickly say when you execute a run, say the run has worked without going into further detail in a maybe as soon as the tool is complete, which takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes the max. And within the 10 minutes, we should be able to rule out the test is run is successful or it totally messed up something. So we have the ability. And runtime I kind of talked about, and it's easy to use. So I'm kind of going to, I think some of this we already talked about the benefits. So I'm quickly going to go over and show the view of the tool that we had. So let me just bring this up. So as a user, what we have to, once we run a full GLTC cycle, all we have to do is the QA or any member of our team have to go is, we know the baselines are not going to change. They just go in and refresh the test file. So it will just refresh it. It doesn't take a lot of time. Once that is done, the loading is complete, then they will go and click the compare tables update button. So then it will initiate the whole compare process. Once the compare is done, team would, we have built in, it will put the data in the results tab. It is connected to a pivot table. So the team would just go and refresh the pivot table. And we, only thing before they go and do the refresh is they bring in the data from previous run, what are the counts. That way then the tool will highlight if there is an improvement. When you see the minus, that means improve. So when the team had made a fix for issue date, they will, let's say inflation indicator, they will go and see, okay, it brought down the issues. If that's the case, then team knows that fix is worked. And if they see something else negatively impacted, like let's say for some reason this count goes up, then it will be, there is a, just going to, so it will bring it up and then color it. So that way team knows, oh, okay, I see the plan code, I did not make any changes, but there is some mismatches. So what happened? Maybe something we did is not correct. It impacted on a place that we not intended to correct. So then team can quickly then maybe call the run, it is not a good run, and start investigation. And the masking, these are other things we have part of the tool that we will use to mask the data. So that's pretty much it in terms of how the tool works. So basically what we, the benefits, what we saw all of this is, we were able to, before this tool, we were spending at least 2 days, one day running the cycle and almost 1 day looking at the reviews and everything. Once we have the tool, we were able to run the tool, run our test cycles every single day. So it changed our life entirely. So every day, our team would go in and make the fixes and do the run. And by the time we have the call, we will have the results ready and for us to view, and we will go through and talk about the issues rather than spending time on trying to review and come up with develop the matrix. And it has a built-in regression, so as soon as you complete the run, when you look at the numbers, you would see whether what the change we made is impacted anything negatively. So it's very quick, and we will know about our test validation very quickly. And this allows us to prioritize where we should put our focus on. So when we look at the very first run we did, we had around 23,000 issues to look at. But just by looking at this, we were able to focus on the top items and see where we should put our effort. Also, we were able to look at there are certain things we know, even though the number is low, but these data elements or the premiums, we know this might impact wide range of data. So we also able to look at volume in related to what makes sense to the project progress to bring the errors down, as well as look at from business sense, look at the data element that's going to add more value. If we fix one field, it may then fix all other data. So we kind of able to get both views that we use to kind of dictate where the work goes and who does the, what is our priorities. So that's pretty much it. And I'm just kind of attached. Next is our feedbacks from the team members, how they felt the tool helped them and what benefits it's added to them. So I'll kind of stop it here, I think, and I'll turn it over to Shan. I think I'm probably taking up some of his time. So to go over the dividend validation, and I think then we will come back to questions.
Hi everyone. So let me share my screen. So 1 second.